Hello there, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. How are you going to survive in a place that always feels like you're on edge? Being the theme of the video, on edge, how do we focus on what has to be done not only for you and I, but what do we have to do to make sure that our friends and family are okay in different situations? And so the motivation for this theme really today is how I've helped clients this week, thinking about the situations they're going through and thinking about, okay, as a counselor, social worker, future life coach, etc., do I really want to take away somebody's pain? Do I want to take away what they're going through? Or do I really let them be at peace and embrace that negative energy that they feel and allow it to naturally work its way out of a person's system? And I think I would take the latter, because what I've been learning is that I cannot force a situation on anybody or force a solution, more accurately, that will help them get out of a situation. Because the thing is, if I give them all the money in the world, okay, fine. They could buy things to get things for them that'll be more affordable, of course. Okay, does that solve your issues though? Whether it's personal, whether it's relational, whether it's something from the past that you were not able to fix. Can money, can goods, can there be ways to buy enough to satisfy your needs and belongings? And I will argue that you can go to a point, but at the end of the day, you yourself have to face whatever situation in your heart has to be settled. And so when you're on the edge, thinking about other people, what they've done to you, and how you can survive moving forward, I think there's something to be said about that. And do you forget the past, or do you learn from it so that way you don't repeat it again? And I think that is the greater lesson of being on the edge. So that way it's in a way a bit of survival. So you don't say, okay, I'm going to put my faith into one person. They backstab me and now they want to come back and be my friend. Oof, well, I can forgive, but I don't have to go through it again. If that makes sense to you, you don't have to go through a negative situation all over again if you know how they're going to react and treat you in a negative situation. If they all of a sudden switch face, become two-faced, right? You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to protect what is your responsibilities that is in your care. And I think when people are trying to be too nice to somebody else, and you can catch this when you're in a social group and you watch everybody sitting at the table, and I've noticed this where friends, co-workers, okay, they're all smiling, looking all happy and wanting to put up a face to where it's like, okay, I'm doing all right, don't worry about me, don't mess with me, I'm okay. But the thing is, when you get past that illusion of people just wanting to please others, how they're all smiling at each other, not wanting to step on others' toes, and you recognize, oh, wait a minute, I can start to see who's trying to just play the face game, and now I can see who really wants to talk with me in a serious manner, who really wants to work with me, that really is ready to get past the facade, get past the image, so that way, okay, now we're in a state of truth and talking and getting things done. And so how do you come to that awareness when you're on the edge? And I think that is what separates someone who is naive from someone who is actually ready and attuned to working with other people, to where, okay, the person who is naive can potentially just go through life not worrying, being relaxed, thinking about, okay, I don't have to have an enemy, I could just move through life and forgive and have a peaceful time. Okay, but the person who's on the edge, right? The person who's ready to give into, not to being so defensive, but to the point of, okay, I'm aware that someone has done this to me in the past. I don't have to throw everything into one basket again because I know what they'll do to me. And if I do that, I recognize that they will throw me under the bus so that they look great in front of other people, and to where they now become the hero and they leave me looking foolish again. And so do I want that outcome? Do I want that outcome to be seen as someone who is now easy to pick on? And I think that's a greater lesson. Do we want to become the obvious prey, or do we want to be on the edge so that way, hey, we can retaliate and do something to fight back? And if that is your case, all right, share a little more, right? Share in the comments what you think about that. And people, they want to get the best of you. They want to get the best of you at times also they see you grow, they see you rise in power in some case, going in this direction. And the first chance they get, they backstab you, right? And where did that come from? And the whole idea of that inspirational idea here is that being on edge, to protect yourself at all costs, and to make sure that when you are going to do something, to keep your projects close, to not tell anybody, to make sure that you are safe, not going to give away too much info. And if you do have a trusted friend or someone you feel that is close, that maybe not even affiliated with that project, maybe that's safe as a safe person for you to talk with about those kind of things. So that way you're not going to lose anything progressive, right? But being on edge in this regard, it is an inspirational thought, is the sense of, okay, someone wants to cross my boundaries. And I've had this before where people, they cross me, now they want to be my friends. And I'm like, oh, I got to think about this. I got to take a moment to think about the past. Am I ready to forgive? Am I ready to move on? Do I want you back in my life? Or the fact is, now that we had the separation from each other, now that I've enjoyed the peace, do I want to give up that peace? Things to think about. And when you have that peace, right, how many of us have been burned by giving away that peace so that way we can please that other person again? Keep the boundary up, people. Keep the boundary up. Protect your peace. Don't let anybody tell you or guilt you to thinking you have to give yourself up to somebody to make them happy or to please them, right? You have wants, you have feelings, you have emotions, you have a life that is worth loving. And if people are wanting to squander that for themselves to become their own popular person to fix whatever is missing in their life, right? Shame on them and evil people, evil intentions, right? At the end of the day, people, I would truly believe, are made from a good source, a creator of some kind, whatever faith you believe, from a good source. But when people turn evil, right, the greatest evil is a person themselves, more so than a natural animal, a plague even, because the person is the one that will really, the pain that they can cause, yeah, that is just so off the charts, right? And so when you're on the edge for your protection, at least you are ready to say no to people, or even, in fact, you can start to, in a way, with your fists up, right? You're blocking everybody away. So the key here is, someone brought this up before in one of my classes. So to make sure, okay, if you are blocking people away, make sure that you're able to bring in good things into your life as well, so you're not blocking anything out. So that way you are at least taking in some good, to where you don't feel like, okay, I've lost all my good resources in my life. Let me get some help still. Get some help so that way I'm not blocked up from the world completely, so I can at least interact in it. And with the interactions, find some strength to move on and find peace again. And so, right, you're going to do things in life, of course, and people are going to notice you. No matter where you are, you go, who you become, how famous or poor, whatever. But when people have an eye out for you, when people have it out for you and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they've been looking at me the whole time. They've been watching me on my media. They've been watching me this whole time. They've been watching you. And you're remembering, okay, I got to remember now, I got to be safe. I cannot put myself, my family, anybody in jeopardy. I got to keep everybody safe. I got to make sure that we are all okay and that we're not going to fall into some sort of calamity, some sort of calamity that'll put us in jeopardy. All right, so make sure you're all safe. Make sure everybody's okay, but make sure also that when you are going to do things, always keep your contacts in this regard close, so that way you're not going to make sure no one steals them from you, the contacts, to help their cause against you or whatever. Right? Gossip is a bad word in that context. Gossip is a bad word because people will try to say something false and negative about you, or it's not true, it's a lie, and the lies will pile up. And it's like, all of a sudden people will call you, oh, the boy who cried wolf, the lady who cried wolf. We won't believe them anymore because they are now the fool, the naive person, right? They're the ones making mistakes. So the reputation sticks with you. And so to counter that reputation, the negative one, right? Step away from the fire, step away from the crowd. Do what you got to do to be positive in your life to get yourself back on your feet. And to remember, hey, I don't have to be abused in this case, the situation. I'm going to get away from a terrible situation so that way I'm okay. And when I'm on the edge, at least I have my eyes peeled, looking around. I have everything within sight. I can at least know where my enemies are, my friends are. I can at least have a good high ground to where I'm making sure that no one's going to sneak up behind me. And so being on the edge, okay, give yourself the time to rest, to find strength, but the rest for yourself in order to keep being aware and vigilant that people are out to get you, so that way you're not going to be surprised. And when you're safe, you can counter their aggression, their attack by your defense with a response. You had some info against them. You now have some defense or retort. Okay, so being on the edge can be very helpful for you, and what you can take with you to as advice moving forward to help other people, helping your kids even, making sure that they are not being thrown in the dark, right? Be a good parent, protect and guide your kids, but also protect and guide those who are underneath you as well. Do not leave them in the dark. Keep them close to you. Be a guide, and being on the edge can become a useful skill in this regard. So keep that in mind. All right, everyone. I hope this video finds you well today. Don't give up on yourself. Use your awareness. Use your skills. Be aware of everything around you. Be on the edge so that way not only are you safe, but everyone around you is safe as well. Make sure everyone is okay, no one is trapped, and that people will be all right under your care. All right, everyone. Hope this video finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.